In a situation where the only three-phase load is a 30 amps AC unit, the high leg service entrance and feeder conductors can be sized according to National Electrical Code, or NEC, requirements. According to Article 220.40, A. The conductors must have an ampacity of not less than 125% of the maximum load on the phase conductors. Since the maximum load on the phase conductors is 30 amps, the minimum ampacity of the high leg conductor is calculated as follows. Minimum ampacity equals 125% times 30 amps, which equals 37.5 amps. However, Article 220.40 B states that the neutral conductor must be at least equal to the largest phase conductor. Therefore, the high leg conductor must be sized to 37.5 amps, rounded up to the next standard size, which is 40 amps. The 200 amps main breaker provides overcurrent protection for the entire service entrance, including the high leg conductor. However, the NEC does not allow the use of overcurrent protection that is larger than the ampacity of the conductor. Therefore, the minimum size of the high leg conductor is determined by the ampacity required for the load, rather than the rating of the overcurrent protection. In this case, the high leg service entrance and feeder conductors should be sized to 40 amps, which will provide sufficient ampacity for the 30 amps AC unit and comply with NEC requirements. Using a fusible main or a 200/30/200 main breaker is not necessary for this application. To reiterate, the key steps are: firstly, calculate the minimum ampacity required for the high leg conductor by taking 125% of the maximum load on the phase conductors, as per NEC Article 220.40. Secondly, ensure that the high leg conductor size is not less than the neutral conductor size according to NEC Article 220.40. Thirdly, select the next standard conductor size that meets or exceeds the calculated minimum ampacity. In this scenario, the calculated minimum ampacity was 37.5 amps, which rounds up to a standard size of 40 amps. Fourthly, remember that the 200 amps main breaker provides overcurrent protection for the entire service entrance, but the size of the high leg conductor must be determined by the load requirements, not the breaker size. Fifthly, verify that the selected conductor size complies with all other applicable NEC requirements, such as those related to conductor insulation, temperature rating, and installation methods. These steps ensure that the high leg service entrance and feeder conductors are appropriately sized for the given load, while also complying with the relevant NEC requirements and safety standards. It's important to always consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes for the most up-to-date and accurate information. Additionally, it is recommended to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or contractor for any electrical work, especially when dealing with three-phase systems and high leg configurations, to ensure safety and compliance with all applicable regulations. To expand on the NEC requirements and considerations for sizing high leg conductors, here is some additional information. Firstly, it is crucial to understand the specific characteristics of a high leg delta system. The high leg, also known as the stinger leg or wild leg, is the phase conductor with the highest voltage to ground. In a typical 240/120 volts high leg delta system, two of the phase conductors have 120 volts to neutral, while the high leg has approximately 208 volts to neutral. This unique voltage characteristic must be taken into account when sizing conductors and selecting equipment. Secondly, NEC Article 220 provides the general requirements for calculating branch circuit, feeder, and service loads. While the example focused on a single 30 amps AC unit, it is essential to consider all loads connected to the three-phase service when determining the overall load requirements. This includes any lighting, receptacles, or other equipment that may be connected to the system. Thirdly, when calculating the conductor ampacity, it is important to consider any applicable diluting factors. NEC Article 310 provides ampacity tables for various conductor types and sizes, but these ampacities may need to be adjusted based on factors such as ambient temperature, number of conductors in a raceway, and type of insulation. For example, if the conductors are installed in a hot environment or bundled together with other conductors, the ampacity may need to be reduced to prevent overheating. Fourthly, The overcurrent protection requirements for conductors are specified in NEC Article 240. As mentioned earlier, the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, must not be larger than the ampacity of the conductor it protects. However, there are some exceptions to this rule, such as when the conductor ampacity does not correspond to a standard overcurrent device rating. In such cases, the next higher standard overcurrent device rating may be permitted, as long as it does not exceed the conductor's ampacity by more than a certain percentage. Fifthly, in addition to the ampacity requirements, it is also important to consider the voltage drop in the conductors. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. NEC Informational Note Number 2 to Article 210.19. A1 and Informational Note Number 2 to Article 215.2. A1 provides recommendations for maximum voltage drop in branch circuits and feeders, respectively. To minimize voltage drop, it may be necessary to increase the conductor size beyond the minimum ampacity requirement. Sixthly, when selecting conductors for high-leg delta system, it is important to choose conductors with appropriate insulation and voltage ratings. The insulation must be suitable for the operating voltage and temperature of the system. Additionally, the conductors must be identified in accordance with NEC Article 215.8, which requires the high-leg conductor to be durably and permanently marked with an orange color or by other effective means. Seventhly, the grounding and bonding requirements for a high-leg delta system are specified in NEC Article 250. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for ensuring electrical safety and preventing shock hazards. The grounding electrode system must be properly installed and connected to the service equipment. Additionally, all metal enclosures and equipment must be bonded together to create a low impedance path for fault current. Eighthly, when working with a high-leg delta system, it is crucial to exercise caution and follow all applicable safety procedures. The high-leg conductor has a higher voltage to ground than the other phase conductors, which can pose a significant shock hazard. Only qualified electrical personnel should work on these systems, and they should always use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as insulated gloves and eye protection. Ninthly, it is important to remember that the NEC is a minimum standard, and local codes may have additional requirements. Always check with the local electrical inspector or authority having jurisdiction, or UDGE, to determine if there are any additional requirements that must be followed. Tenthly, documentation and labeling are crucial for maintaining a safe and compliant electrical system. Clearly label all panels, circuits, and conductors to identify their purpose and voltage. Keep accurate records of all electrical work performed, including conductor sizes, overcurrent protection ratings, and grounding and bonding connections. This information can be invaluable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. In summary, sizing high-leg conductors requires careful consideration of the load requirements, NEC regulations, and safety standards. By following the steps outlined above and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant. Furthermore, continuous education and training are essential for staying up to date with the latest NEC revisions and best practices in electrical safety. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, and it is important to remain informed about new technologies, materials, and installation methods. Consider attending industry conferences, workshops, and seminars to expand your knowledge and skills. Subscribing to industry publications and online resources can also help you stay current with the latest trends and developments. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to err on the side of caution. If you are not comfortable performing a particular task, or if you are unsure about any aspect of the electrical system, seek the assistance of a qualified electrical professional. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility, and by working together, we can create a safer environment for ourselves and others. Another aspect to consider is the potential for future expansion or changes in load requirements. While the current load may only be a 30 amps AC unit, it is possible that additional loads may be added to the system in the future. In such cases, it may be prudent to size the high leg conductors larger than the minimum required ampacity to accommodate future growth. This can save time and money in the long run by avoiding the need to replace the conductors later on. However, it is important to balance the cost of oversizing the conductors with the potential benefits of future expansion. A thorough load calculation should be performed to determine the expected future load requirements. This calculation should take into account any planned additions or modifications to the electrical system. Based on this calculation, the appropriate conductor size can be determined to meet both the current and future load requirements. In addition to future expansion, it is also important to consider the impact of harmonics on the electrical system. Harmonics are distortion of the sinusoidal waveform of the voltage and current. They can be caused by nonlinear loads such as electronic devices, variable frequency drives, and some types of lighting. Harmonics can cause a variety of problems, including overheating of conductors and equipment, increased energy consumption, and interference with sensitive electronic devices. If harmonics are present in the electrical system, it may be necessary to increase the size of the neutral conductor to accommodate the harmonic currents. The NEC provides guidelines for sizing the neutral conductor in systems with harmonic loads. Additionally, harmonic filters may be installed to reduce the level of harmonics in the system. The selection and installation of harmonic filters should be performed by a qualified electrical engineer. Another consideration is the coordination of overcurrent protection devices. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, must be coordinated to ensure that a fault is cleared quickly and safely. Coordination means that the overcurrent protection device closest to the fault should trip first, while the upstream devices remain closed. This prevents unnecessary outages and minimizes the damage caused by the fault. Coordination studies should be performed by a qualified electrical engineer to determine the appropriate settings for the overcurrent protection devices. The settings should be based on the conductor ampacities, equipment ratings, and fault current levels. In addition to the technical aspects of sizing high leg conductors, it is also important to consider the economic aspects. The cost of conductors can vary depending on the size, type, and material. It is important to select the most cost-effective conductor that meets the technical requirements of the application. Additionally, the cost of installation should be taken into account. The installation costs can vary depending on the location of the conductors, the type of raceway, and the labor rates. A thorough cost analysis should be performed to determine the total cost of the project. Finally, it is important to document all aspects of the electrical system. This includes the conductor sizes, overcurrent protection ratings, grounding and bonding connections, and load calculations. The documentation should be kept in a safe and accessible location. This information can be invaluable for future maintenance, troubleshooting, and modifications. In conclusion, sizing high leg conductors is a complex task that requires careful consideration of a variety of factors. These factors include the load requirements, NEC regulations, safety standards, future expansion, harmonics, overcurrent protection coordination, economic aspects, and documentation. By taking all of these factors into account, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant. Always consult with qualified electrical professionals for assistance with any electrical work.